Talk about you fighting the best fighter in the world. You better be taking it seriously. You know, that goes to show, you know, how serious he's taking me and how much.
Come on now, bro. All these pound for pound fighters are too scared to fight me. They need 200 million to do it.
I got 200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul.
Pussy.
Terence Crawford just shocked the boxing world. He's gone from calling Jake Paul a joke to saying he'd actually fight him. Yeah, you heard that right. The same Crawford who once said Jake Paul was a circus act is now saying if everything aligns, I'll take that fight. And trust me, there's a reason behind that sudden U-turn, and it's not just money.
They can punch with that right hand. Like, I seen him, you know what I mean, up close in person. Like, dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there's those times where, you know, him and Tyson.
Because check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, this gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You know, you start.
At first, Crawford couldn't stand the YouTube invasion of boxing. Jake Paul walking in, grabbing millions, and calling out real pros. It made Crawford furious. He saw Jake as a walking insult to the craft, a sideshow act disrespecting generations of blood and sweat. But somewhere between Jake's early chaos and his latest knockouts, Crawford saw something change. Keep watching, because what Crawford admitted next on Logan Paul's own podcast had fans stunned, and it might just be the start of the biggest crossover story boxing's ever seen.
It's gonna happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to go on a rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN.
Crawford looked Jake in the eye and said, "At first I was against it. I thought it was disrespectful. But after watching him train and take it seriously, I was like, this dude is getting better. That's not just any praise. That's from one of the most precise, undefeated technicians in modern boxing history. So if Crawford's saying Jake Paul is getting better, you know something real is happening."
Out of like the influencer world would be the most lucrative thing for my career, and I think I was the only one who like actually wanted to do it. And actually wanted to go all the way, and that's why I set the goal for myself early to become a world champion, set the bar extremely high, and to just...
Crawford has claimed that he's realized Jake isn't trying to skip the line. He's not pretending to be ready for...
kidnapping, all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. If this is true, I talk about just fumbling the bag, one of the biggest financial opportunities of his career, and he's about to ruin it. It's being reported that Jake's team is offering Ryan Garcia as a replacement for a December fight.
And it didn't end there. Crawford was in Puerto Rico during Jake's fight against Ryan Borland, and what he saw that night flipped the switch completely. He can hit with that right hand, Crawford said. That wasn't a fan talking. That was a world champion ringside admitting Jake Paul can actually punch.
See this footage? Look at Tank. Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth. See, from the front view, you can't really tell. But when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino out.
Now here's where the drama explodes. With Gervonta Tank Davis possibly out of the Jake Paul fight, Crawford just became the perfect replacement. Imagine that, Crawford versus Paul, a clash no one believed would ever leave the fantasy zone. And before you roll your eyes, remember this. A year ago, Crawford wouldn't even say Jake's name. Now he's open to signing on the dotted line.
Oh, not gonna lie, you really got knocked out.
Yeah, I really got knocked out. Watch the fight, you idiot. Went 12 rounds. Like, you're weird, bro. Bro didn't even knock me out or even throw punches. That's sad, bro. Just know, bro, I'm coming back. It's gonna be vicious. Like, you guys don't want to see that. You guys are weird trying to troll me over a fight I didn't even care about.
His height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach.
But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility. He's now working on fighting orthodox. He's naturally a southpaw. Now he's working on fighting orthodox.
But here's the twist you didn't see coming. This entire storyline might get hijacked by Anthony Joshua. Yeah, you heard that right. Anthony Joshua's name has now entered the Jake Paul sweepstakes, and his response? Just let me know where and when. No hesitation, no drama. Just that signature Joshua confidence that makes every arena shake.
Beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
There's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?
You know what's going to happen with a 135 pounder going up against a 200 pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over.
Now pause right here, because what you're about to hear next will tell you whether Jake Paul is rewriting boxing or playing with fire that could end his entire career.
My only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake. He fights
Kidnapping, all sorts of crazy stuff, guys. If this is true, talk about just fumbling the bag. One of the biggest financial opportunities of his career, and he's about to ruin it. It's being reported that Jake's team is offering Ryan Garcia as a replacement for a December.
Eddie Hearn confirmed it himself. Talks between Jake Paul's team and Joshua's camp are actually happening. This isn't some clickbait headline. It's real. There's just one massive wall. Jake signed with Netflix, Joshua's with DAZN, and those two platforms are direct rivals. So unless a crossover mega deal happens, it's pure chaos behind the scenes.
Come out and put this fight in serious peril. So much so that reports have been saying that, hey, Jake Paul's team have already started contacting fighters about being a replacement, whether it be for this November 14th date or maybe a date in December. And the 5 names they already contacted are some of the biggest names in the sport.
He's a marketing genius, but when it comes to people that picking his fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit the real 10-ounce, well, I'm told it's 16-ounce gloves now, it's like an exhibition. Right. I'm told it's big gloves and head guards, he's gonna need that.
But here's what makes it even crazier. Hearn has already spoken to Jake's manager about the logistics. And Joshua, he's already said yes in principle. That's not a rumor anymore. That's 2 massive names circling each other like sharks before the kill.
And the situation, you guys can look into it. I didn't, you know me, I don't really speak about stuff outside the ring, but now I have to since it affects the ring, okay, and what happens in the ring. The fight may be canceled. It's a civil suit. From my understanding, and I don't want to, confuse you guys or misinform you guys. I didn't look into it much, but
we know it's early. Less than 2 weeks, no fighter is going to take that. There will be no fight if it isn't Tank Davis on November 14th. As this moment, there has been no cancellation, but it seemingly is in the direction of Tank Davis not fighting Jake Paul on the 14th. So no fighter, legitimate fighter, is going to step in on 2 weeks' notice, even if it is.
Now imagine the scale of that event. Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned fighter, standing across from a 2-time heavyweight champion, an Olympic gold medalist. That's not just a fight, that's history colliding with chaos. And if you think this madness stops there, keep watching, because Michael Bisping just entered the conversation and threw a full bucket of gasoline on it.
The retort would be there's such a big weight discrepancy there, right? That's what some people...
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Tank probably sparred like heavyweights or light heavyweights and things like that.
Damn,
so
really?
It's probably nothing that he never seen before. I'm pretty sure Jake never fought nobody that little.
No, it's good. So that's the fascinating part about it.
I feel like it's more so harder for Jake to fight a smaller guy like that, because he gonna...
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis November the 14th fight is off. The Jake Paul team have now reached out to Anthony Joshua, Floyd Mayweather, Ryan Garcia and Edgar Berlanga to replace Tank Davis, who is being sued for assault on his ex-girlfriend.
Bisping went off, saying Jake Paul's next move is pure desperation. According to him, the only reason fans even cared about the Jake versus Tank fight was curiosity. Could Jake's size overpower Tank's speed? Now that Tank's gone, Bisping says the hype's dead. He called Jake's matchmaking strategy entertainment, not elite competition.
Is this really the case? It has been reported by a couple of online periodicals, and if this is the case, then it says something about influencer, crossover and exhibition boxing. Because the reports are that the Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis fight is light by 6,000 tickets.
Jake Paul, Tank, how you see that fight going?
Man, that's not a real fight. I like Jake.
Is Tank?
It's not a real fight.
It's not a fight. Does Tank have a chance? He's so much smaller. He's a real boxer, but he's so much smaller.
But then Bisping said something that got everyone's attention. He brought up Francis Ngannou, the same monster who dropped Tyson Fury, and said, "There's no way Jake Paul ever fights him. No chance. But if he does, I'll admit I was wrong." That's the gauntlet right there. Because if Jake Paul ever steps in with Ngannou, that's not boxing, it's survival.
Boxing here. So early rumours for the replacement for Tank Davis to fight Jake Paul is Nate Diaz. It's going to be a rematch that no one asked for and no one wants to see. Unless you do. What's your thoughts?
And funny enough, Ngannou already fired the first shot online after Jake's fight with Mike Tyson, saying he'd slap him. Jake fired back, calling Ngannou a clout chaser. But deep down, you can feel it. This seed's been planted. Still, that's not the only name circling. Nate Diaz has re-entered the chat. He's already fought Jake once and went the distance. The fight didn't set records, but it sold like wildfire. Now his name's back on the table as one of the few who could fill Tank's shoes, if the money's right.
I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. Do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
right.
It's like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about.
But let's be honest, there are only two names that can move global numbers like Tank did, Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou. If Jake Paul lands either one, it's over. The critics vanish, the internet explodes. Boxing headlines go nuclear, and that's why every insider, from Hearn to Crawford, is keeping a close eye on what Jake Paul does next. Because whether you love him or hate him, he's making moves that even the purists can't ignore. He's not just fighting for validation anymore, he's fighting for control of the sport's attention. So as it stands, between Crawford's shocking turnaround, Joshua's green light, and the whispers of Ngannou, Jake Paul is standing on the edge of something massive. The next announcement could change the sport's entire power balance. And trust me, you're going to want to see what happens next, because if Jake Paul really pulls this off, it might be the craziest moment in modern boxing history.